live.
And we're on?
We're on.
Man alive. Welcome in. It's been a minute.
Know Nothing's podcast.
Here we are again.
Episode 24. I'm Mike.
I'm Ray.
And we're here.
We're here with you, man. We're just going through this Twitter feud. Have you guys seen this Twitter feud? It's pretty fun.
Got some music Twitter feud going on.
So, everybody knows what happened with Falling in Reverse. Mike didn't know.
I didn't know. And they're one of my favorite bands, and I didn't know.
So, Falling in Reverse had a gig scheduled, and they lost their laptop, so they had to cancel the show. They canceled the show with no laptop. Well, Eddie Trunk, the music journalist, he jumped on them for playing with laptops, not playing with instruments. Sebastian Bach got on his side, and now Sebastian Bach and the guy in Falling in Reverse, I forget, what's the guy's name? You know him?
Ronnie Radke.
You do? That's Ronnie Radke?
Ronnie Radke's the lead singer of Falling in
that's
Reverse.
who he's having the feud with. So
well, their guitarist died like 2 years ago too, and that was I didn't know. Maybe I was just sad about that.
So yeah, here's my take, man. My take is that like people are gonna it's 2022. You're gonna use a laptop for like intro tracks. You're gonna use it for parts you can't replicate live, like orchestral parts or maybe piano parts if you're not going to bring a piano.
The next time I play, I'm totally using a laptop that has all the equipment that I would use in the studio to make me sound good on a laptop. Yeah. Like the compressors, all of that stuff. But they're really expensive.
It's still the
on your laptop.
That's what I'm saying. So Falling in Reverse is still playing their instruments and singing their songs and performing their songs live. It's not like it's not what the old rock guys are trying to portray it to be. And the old rock guys, I get what they're coming to, because like I do hate when people are lip syncing. I do hate where it's I don't want the music to be playing on a laptop behind the music. I want the music to be played live. I do understand where the old guys are coming from with that.
I think because I've been to a bunch of these where I was like, man, these guys sound great. There's a lot of things in songs now with like breaks and cuts and whatever that we used to use. 22 years ago, we had a DJ and he would go boop, 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 and play it. Now they just use a click track with laptops, so they get all that. Like there's like these guitar parts that are cut up too fast to even be imaginable to play, and they go in songs. I mean, you've heard like Asking Alexandria and those bands do like, and you're like, oh man, that's fucking cool, that part of the song. And it all comes from click tracks with laptops that are playing a click track that go along with the music. They're all playing their instruments. It's just an added part to it that makes it even cooler, which I dig, because you got like click track drum parts that the drummer's playing along with, and it's like, you know, like with all kinds of stuff. So
it was just something new. It was kind of like when the internet tried to crucify Tommy Lee, because did you see that part on one of their last tours? Somebody caught him. He was coming to get into his drum stool, and it clicked, and the drummer counted in like you heard like a count in on a drum. Well, he was obviously sitting down and just grabbing his drumsticks, and then he picked right up to start the song.
Well, that's a count in. That's to get it perfectly right.
Exactly.
So,
but
of this stuff. So everybody, do you want a good show? Do you want a good show?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's what you...
Remember when people were all upset that, like Guns N' Roses and all those guys, like, later were using, like, a teleprompter to sing their songs, like, I get up around 11, I used to get up on time, and they're, like, reading it?
Yeah.
Dudes, these guys have been playing for 30 years. I can't even remember 50 songs. Come on now.
That's normal now. People used to give out teleprompter, but now I think it's been about 25 years people have been using those. And if you're going to do a 2.5 hour set and you're charging people $140, you want to put every tool that you can use, but I do want you to play your instruments and sing. But Tommy Lee is playing the drums. Clearly he's fucking playing the drums, you know, but everybody was like, oh, they're probably not even doing anything live. And I was like, I don't know.
They're doing it live.
Yeah. And now Kiss, they're lip syncing their whole deal.
The other thing is, it brings us back to what happened when Post Malone fell down. He's obviously, when he's playing an instrument and singing, he's playing the instrument and singing. But then when he does his hey, 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 hey songs, you know, that are like, they're total pop songs.
Yeah.
And he's kind of just walking around and like, hey, I'm so cool, look at me. He's not really singing that.
Yeah.
And it's proven that he's not now.
Because he fell in a hole and it was still going.
I actually know somebody that knows somebody that's on that tour, and he told me to hush.
Oh,
he said hush, boy.
Oh, yeah.
He told me to hush.
Oh, he saw the podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, hush, boy.
Yeah.
What? I think it's out there now.
Yeah, I want that stuff to be live, though. I do want that to be live. I understand a little bit of like people being frustrated about that.
I want it to be live. I want to hear what they sound like when they came up with it in their basement.
Yeah.
I want to hear it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not unfortunately, but it's cool because like if you write something and you add an extra element to it and it's cool and you're using a computer or a laptop, the thing is that what they had one laptop with the thing on it, they should have had like multiple laptops with that backups on it. What are they, dummies?
And then the singer, the Fall in Reverse guy, what's his name again? I know this guy.
Ronnie Radke.
Ronnie Radke. So Ronnie Radke, when he's doing the interview or when he's telling everybody he's canceling the show, he's like, I don't know where it is. Like, I guess the crew lost it. I don't know how that happens. He just totally threw his crew under the bus.
Oh my gosh.
Well, that's pretty shitty thing to do. But
there we go.
The old man fighting with
Read them off.
Sebastian. Oh God, Sebastian Bach. Yeah, he's such a great Twitter follow because he's all. Hey, Sebastian Bach's had feuds with Donald Trump, this guy. Who was the last one with? Adam Levine. He's in a Twitter feud.
What's he fighting with Adam Levine about? What did little tiny Adam do?
You don't know about Adam Levine's this week, huh?
No.
I don't think he was in a Twitter feud with him this week. But Adam Levine's like got busted cheating on his wife with all these girls are exposing the DMs he sent.
Oh yeah. I saw that. We haven't. This has been a couple weeks since we've done this.
A week and a half.
The Queen died, and in between all that.
No, we've done one since the Queen died. Yeah, it hasn't been that long.
No, I think it has. I don't know.
But anyway, Sebastian going off with here's some of these some of his great tweets. Eat shit and learn how to play music. Eat shit and learn how to play music, which that's fair, right? Like, hey, you should learn how to play music.
Hey, those guys are actually really good. Falling in Reverse is really good.
They are good. That's why I think they're really playing their instruments.
Fun. They're almost like a fun, like newer Motley Crue kind of fun style thing.
Watch what happens when track bands call real musicians idiots. Idiot. And just randomly, I guess just to prove his street cred, I've listened to Dio since the late 70s. No one even brought up Dio, but
yeah.
Dio did track everything live. Of course, I don't know if he would have a live. I would be willing to bet, though, Dio's last tour with Sabbath in 2009, I bet they had a computer for added effects. For stuff they couldn't do live. Yeah.
Of course. All of that stuff also, people have to remember that all of that stuff is all wired in with like lighting and lasers and pyrotechnics. Right, and I think, and all of that stuff when you got like a laser light show going on with your band and you're playing to a click track.
Yeah,
unless there's a guy just like dialed in and he's like, I mean, he's just like every note, every word, but that's just like you can replace that guy with a click track.
But there's a segment of us like me. I'd rather see all the guys. I'd rather see the dudes doing the thing. If you could do it, but if you can't, I understand adding a little element here and there. But I don't understand if it's your instruments or if it's your voice. I'm not with that.
Tool doesn't play with a click track.
See, there you go. Well, that kind of lends more credibility to Sebastian's argument,
right? Well, I mean, no, look, okay, I like my music as organic as I can get it. But if you're writing music like them or Asking Alexandria, and you have these parts in your music that does all these like cool, like little, really fast, computerized sounding breakdown things, and the drums playing along with like a drum beat that the drummer's not playing, and all that kind of stuff, and it's going in and out. That stuff's cool too. Yeah, then it becomes impossible really to replicate. You need the laptop. You have to have the laptop. I got to shout this guy out on Twitter that came at Sebastian, though. He's in a band called Architechnology. Never heard of him. I haven't heard of him either, but his tweet's great to Sebastian. He said, "We play our instruments and sing live, you decrepit fucking idiot. The only thing tracked is orchestral parts, choirs, and hip-hop beats. Quick, someone take this man's supply of Aquanet away before he kills his last 2 remaining brain cells." And that guy's exactly right, by the way, because he just named everything that you do. And all that it does. I'm totally cool with all that. I think Eddie Trunk and Sebastian Bach have taken a little bit of a boomer approach to it, acting like they can't exist. It's not real music. Yeah. there's a orchestra in the background, and there's not. You don't have the Philharmonic really there.
Yeah.
Like, how are you supposed to take the Philharmonic everywhere
you go, unless you have a $5 million budget.
Right. So it's like you want to make the music sound great. I just wish they'd all get along. And like somebody needs to just show Sebastian Bach how a computer works. I'm sure he doesn't even like. I mean, he knows how to use his phone apparently with Twitter.
Yeah.
But I think that like if somebody like sat down and was like, "Look at all this stuff you can do, Sebastian. You may have a comeback where you like you can put all this stuff in there." I'm just telling you, if somebody showed him all that shit, he would be all about it.
Probably
he would just be all about it. He'd be putting more music out
because it makes sense, right? Like,
and I do like Sebastian Bach.
He's fucking phenomenal.
He's awesome.
He's a fucking killer singer.
It's like we said, like with the dated, like you get older and you kind of get to where you're just like you get a little edgy and aggravated about the youngins doing more than what you're doing, and you were there at one time, and now you're not, and they're doing it a different way. So
I don't like that.
You know.
And if they went to a Falling in Reverse concert and were like, and he like went on stage with, he probably like, oh fuck, okay, 97% of this is live.
Sebastian Bach kind of reminds me of Ronnie Radke a little bit. He's kind of in that style of like wild party. I'm the shit. I get all the girls. That's what Falling in Reverse kind of is, except for like the last couple albums. But like the first albums they did, I mean, he has a song where he says he's the king of the music scene. I mean, that's just. He's just out there saying how awesome he is, and he is awesome.
Yeah.
The dude sings these choruses that blow my mind.
He's good. He's great.
I love it.
I just thought the feud was interesting and funny. Like that they.
I love it when people get into a feud. Like the younger people get into a feud with the older guys that were badass and on top of the world at one point.
Yeah.
It's like I've been there, done that, son, and you're using a computer.
That's the most boomer thing said in the whole Twitter feud was when Sebastian told him like, okay, well I'll be here. I'll see you in person, face to face, and I'll show you fucking rock and roll.
Can you see Sebastian Bach's like it is bathrobe all day, right? This is how I picture this.
Yeah, because I mean he is an older millionaire.
I want to picture it like this. He's in his Hollywood Hills house, and he's got his like sunglasses on inside, and he's got his bathrobe on that's probably like a leopard print.
Yeah, definitely
like
leopard print. Yeah,
and he's probably
or tiger stripes.
He probably 10, 15 years ago bought into a little hip hop, so he's got like probably a nice chain going on too.
Yeah,
and he's like walking around on Twitter like, these guys are fucking using a laptop to do music. Good look. Get over. Do you know what this is? Pull this up on the internet. Ronnie Radke. Pull up Falling in Reverse. I want to hear this shit. What's going on with this? Like, just totally bothered about it.
Oh, he's just. You saw how many? I mean, I didn't read for the podcast hardly any. Before we got on, I was just going one after the other. He was fucking rapid fire, like boom, boom, boom.
He's so aggravated walking around in his mansion. Probably it's just like that's the way I see it, and I hope it is like that.
That's the way. Unless he's on tour right now, that is the way it is.
Would he be on tour right now?
Oh yeah, he's always on tour.
He's always on tour.
Always.
Why do I never catch him?
I don't know.
Because we live here.
He comes to New Orleans.
It's a long ride.
Yeah, he doesn't.
It's a long ride from North Louisiana, folks.
I would make the drive to New Orleans for. I like Sebastian Bach, but not enough to drive to New Orleans. I like him. He's a 45-mile drive though.
He'd have to come to Shreveport.
Shreveport, I'd go see him.
CenturyTel. Is it still CenturyTel?
Yep.
It is.
He probably wouldn't be playing the CenturyTel. What's a place that's like smaller cap in Shreveport?
I don't know.
What's the place?
I don't know anymore.
If you're not an arena band.
Oh, totally. One of the casinos then.
Yeah, a casino or one of the club that holds 1,000 or something. That'd be perfect. Yeah.
If he ever comes, I'd totally go see him.
Oh, he still sounds great. The new singer for Skid Row, by the way, sounds great. They got
I'll have to listen to that.
They got a new singer, and he's fucking good. He's the first replacement for Bach I've seen. He's not as good as Bach, but well, he's probably as good as Bach now. That Bach's like, I don't know what, 50. He's really young. He's only like 4 or 5 years older than me. I say really young, like 52.
Are you still jamming the new Ozzy?
Yeah.
Is it in heavy rotation?
Oh yeah, it wasn't my only rotation till Tyler Childers dropped a new album, and I listened. So then I added Tyler Childers in.
I'm gonna hammer off some bands that I listen to while I'm working out, and I only know like 2 of them because they all sound like I love this style of music.
Is it all deathcore, metalcore? What?
It's all like it's the name of this is just like metal. It's heaps heavy metal. and they update this every week. And the music, I don't know any of these bands, but they all kind of sound the same because they all use 7 and 8 string guitars.
Yeah.
Right? And they're all detuned, and it's all like, you got to have like a thing in a music, you got to be like, and then you go, I never blah, 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 you know.
I know exactly, yeah.
So like, tell me if you've ever heard of any of these.
All right. And I've heard of a lot, so it's good.
Phase 1 and Polaris.
No.
North Lane.
No.
You've heard this one. Parkway Drive.
Of course.
Alpha Wolf.
Yes.
Pride Lands.
No.
That one's good. Thy Art is Murder.
Yes.
Yes. Void of Vision.
Yes.
That one's really good.
Yes.
Okay. Thornhill.
Yes.
Yes. In Heart's Wake.
No.
The Amity Affliction.
Nope.
You never heard them?
Have not.
Oh, then,
They should.
And then there's Wage War, obviously,
Yes.
stuck in there. Then Ocean Sleeper.
Nope.
Never heard of them. Novelist FR.
Nope.
Above, Below.
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
You've heard of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I Prevail, obviously.
Of course.
Huge band.
Obviously.
Make Them Suffer.
Yes.
A Day to Remember.
Yes.
Earthcaller.
No. I don't know.
Era.
Huh?
Era. ERRA. I love Era, by the way.
Never.
You have to listen to some Era. But anyway, it's just like all these bands, they don't sound the same, but
they do. They're in the same style. They're in the same genre.
They're in the same genre.
Yeah.
But they have different
Idiosyncrasies
that they have. And they're really great bands. It's really heavy stuff. And I really dig it. The problem is it just runs together so much. And I'm too... I don't say too old, but I'm like too far along in life to like zero in on one of these bands and be like a super fanboy.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just into the sound.
Yeah. No, I can't stop listening to Patient Number 9 from Ozzy. That's the best album he's made in 30 years, and he's made some. I've loved every album he's done the past 30 years. But god damn, that shit is great. Like with Jeff Beck, and with the one with Mike McCready from Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
And the one with Iommi, and then the 4 with Zakk Wylde, and the 2 with Clapton. He's
what
been
did you say that some people said that like they thought that they phoned it in, like the Clapton?
There were people that were like,
Iommi?
there were people. You know how the internet is, like just internet haters. They were like, this isn't because they only want to hear Iron Man again or whatever, right? Like they want to. They're like, these are just riffs that Iommi found on the floor, and I'm like listening to them, like, what the. This is fucking killer. Like
riffs.
Ozzy wouldn't have been like, yeah, we're putting it on the album if it was something he found on the floor, like some old throwaway riff. It's just old dudes being old dudes on the internet.
I think they just can't. I think they
can't accept.
Started jamming and it was awesome. Man.
They can't accept that people they liked can do things in 2022 that are cool. That's not exactly like it was in 1982. I don't. It's just. It's a
they
weird.
Don't want it to change.
That's a weird thing with music fans in general. You ever
It
know?
is weird.
And the internet. If they saw him in person at a book signing, they'd be like, "Oh my god, I love the new album, please." But on the internet, like, well, because they say stuff like, "Well, doesn't quite live up to Randy Rhoads or Jakey Lee, but I guess it's okay. It's a mediocre Ozzy album. You know, I rated about 3.7 stars. Who the fuck are you?" Like, it's number 1 on Billboard for like 4 consecutive weeks. In the metal genre, which is never number 1 on Billboard. Like, who are you?
Let's see your last 50 years of music catalog, and let's go ahead and compare those up.
Yeah, it's just
that's the other thing is like critics, especially
internet
critics, especially internet critics now, where everyone has a voice and it's awful.
That's what, like, if you go to if you post on on Facebook or Instagram, if you post yourself doing something great, impressive to you. You bench press 315 pounds or you squat 500, someone's going to get on and be like, it's not that much.
Yeah. Somebody's going to be, you know.
And it'll always be a guy it's the same. Okay, here's a great example.
300 pounds is always impressive.
It is. The internet's just stupid.
It's always impressive.
It's just, so Arch Manning, I don't know if you know who Arch Manning is.
How long do you think it takes if you weigh 200 pounds and you just start lifting? How long would it take to personal best 300
on
pounds?
bench press?
On bench press. How long?
Possibly never.
Never?
Possibly never. 200 pounds? That's all you are?
If you weigh 200 pounds.
I mean, it's a possibility, never, but like I would say,
where does it get to the point where it's like, 300 pounds, that'll happen in this amount of time?
I mean, when you're 200 pounds, you're talking about that's 100 pounds over body weight. Some people don't. I mean, I guess there's this level. People have different strength levels. Some people don't progress to that level.
Well, you gotta work at it.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying some people can work, and they're still stopped.
They never do.
They're still they're obviously
At 200 pounds.
Yeah, I would think so.
Huh.
I would think there's 200-pound men that work
Can't
out.
bench press 300 pounds if they work at it for a year.
A year? Hell, no, absolutely not. No way in a year.
Oh man.
You're talking about a 200-pound man, not a 270-pound man, or a 240-pound man, or a 220-pound man. There's a huge difference. Massive difference.
Some guy in the gym, like that. I think I told this story the other day. He was like, "Hey man," he's like, "You're kind of stout." He's like, "What's your how much can you bench?" Yeah, how much you bench? You know that? And I was like, "I have no idea. I've never done it." And he was like, "Can you bench press 300 pounds?" I was like, "I don't know." And he's like, "Let me stack it up." He's like, "What are you doing today?" I was like, "Oh, I'm doing legs." He's like, "Perfect. Let me stack up 300 pounds and see what you got." I said, "Well, don't put 300 right on there."
Yeah, of course, that'd be stupid.
Let me get a little less. Let me get some less than that. And we did. And I put up 300 pounds one time.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Wow." And I was like, "Okay, I've never done that."
So that would be the equivalent of that 200-pound man doing 225. Or actually him doing about 250. From a percentage standpoint, him doing about 210, 215.
I have been working out for 4 years.
And you were 275.
I was 275.
And you've been working out for 4 years. So lose 75 pounds of body weight and lose 4 years of working out and try that again.
Oof.
It's total. That's
It'll crush you. I guess you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea what I'm doing. Like I was just bodybuilding. I didn't care about how much I could lift. I was doing straight up like I do now, where I go in and I just extinguish the muscle. Like I just completely take the muscle to. I'll be in there like I was doing shoulders and I do like a military press and I'm doing military press and I'll put like a bunch of 10s on each side and just like do that until I can't do it and I pull 2 off and I do it till I can't do it and pull it off, do it, and then I get down to like 110 on each side and I'm like, and it's like I hope nobody walks.
So
in
you just do everything as a 2 failure. That's how you train.
And then I stretch and I rip it up. Yeah. And then
I don't know if it's effective either.
It's totally effective.
I don't know.
My body changes immediately when I
know because you get a crazy pump.
I mean, I get like I've got a like I went. You get a crazy pump, and then you go look in the mirror and you see all this.
But I think the science is not. I don't think the science back going to failure on every exercise all the time is the way to get gains.
No, it's not. It's not because you have to.
You got to stop and repair.
You got to shock the muscle.
Yeah, you got to stop and repair.
That's shocking the muscle, and then like it's totally a Arnold Schwarzenegger thing where he says shock the muscle.
Yeah.
So like I can't do that all the time. Then you go in and then you just like do machines.
Yeah. Just do some moving around.
And then you just do like 3 sets of whatever with a warm up in the beginning and 3 sets of whatever, and then you go back and you do it again. What you're trying to constantly do when you do those failures is rip your muscle.
But you're all on the you're just on the Arnold Bible. That's pretty much.
I'm just on the Arnold Bible.
That's
my whole life.
Yeah,
that's what I've done.
It worked.
And it worked, and I got huge, and then I got fat when COVID hit. And
but yeah, I think you might be discounting the body weight element in that equation a lot.
Really?
Yeah, like I don't think understanding how much mass moves mass, and like how much stronger a 275 pound untrained male is probably innumerably stronger than a 200-pound trained male.
Well, let me tell you this. This is what happens to me, and maybe you can give me some insight on this. Is I said I weighed 200. I lost 12 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
I was 274, and then I went to I went to the gym every week this week and did till failure on every body part. Like I really zoned in. I did arms one day.
Yeah,
killed it. To where I shoulders one day. Just shoulders. Killed it. You can't do shoulders for 2 hours.
Hell no, 25, 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
You kill it. And then like legs and then chest. Like very, very, like really dialing in on that stuff. I weigh 270 pounds today.
You weigh 270 today?
Yeah. And I'm eating the same. I'm even doing like I do like 10 minutes of cardio and 10 minutes of cardio after I work out. Get a tan. You know,
you worked out to like 250 something, huh?
I was 262, and now I'm 270.
No, that could have been water weight. It could have been water weight. It could be that you've added muscle since you've been working out the past few weeks.
I also started taking. Here. I just figured it out.
What?
I found my favorite creatine, micro-dosing creatine powder again.
Yeah.
I found it, and I started
Microdosing,
taking that.
huh? You microdosing?
Microdosing creatine.
What do you
Well, it's
instead of taking your 5 milligrams, your 10 milligrams at once, you just...
I don't know. It's called microdose. It's like it had like the thing in it. It's like really tiny. So like you scoop it. It's like you're supposed to just get one scoop, and it's like real small.
Right.
It's really small. So I don't know.
Like a gram or something?
I don't know. But it's just like
like a gram of dope.
Like a gram. So like, I just started doing that every day before I worked out. So does that?
Oh, the creatine definitely.
Creatine adds weight.
For sure.
Okay, that's what happened.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah. In fact, I would, unless you're trying to get big again. But you're trying to get lean now, right?
Both.
But yeah. I want to be.
It takes longer. I'm not like. If
I want to
you
be 290, but I want to be real skinny.
You want to be real skinny and 290. But it takes longer, and it's a long grind when you want to lose weight and gain muscle because like I said, I was 264, now I'm 270. I know I'm bigger than I was 2 weeks ago, muscle wise, because just like muscle memory, it just pops right back. I was like looking in the mirror, and it was like, oh damn, like all this stuff's popping out again.
Yeah, that's good.
After doing all that.
So keep doing it.
So I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm just gonna get Colossus.
Yeah, you're gonna get giant. I like being lean. I like being lean and muscular. But
I'm waiting for the Avengers to call me. I want to be the second Hulk.
Yeah,
they're like, we need to get through this door, and I'm just gonna like put my shoulder into it.
It is fun to and when you're big like that, you'll be freakishly strong if you're big and working out like that. Like you just will be.
I will tell you this: when I first started working out, like a year and a half into really doing like
your legs are so
shocking
goddamn
muscle,
big too.
My legs are huge. I can't.
Guys, you should see this fucking dude's tree trunks. Like they're unbelievably massive.
Well, thanks, but they are, and it's.
I don't know if they're fat or muscle under those pants, but oh my god, they're huge.
I will tell you this: there is no fat on my leg. You can't even pinch any fat off my legs, but they're just.
How much did you ever max your squat?
No,
that's what I'd like to.
I've never done any of that.
What were you working out with on squat? Were you squatting? Or you just a leg press?
Like 225, like multiple times.
Yeah, but you would just
until I
would do
failure. Then I would pull off and go down.
Yeah, so you never really tried to go heavy.
Really
That's the thing about bodybuilders; they never know what they never.
Yeah, because it's all like.
Sometimes it's just
to look good.
Sometimes it's just aesthetic. I've been in the gym with bodybuilders that are like freak looking, and then we'll like work out together. I'm like, why aren't you stronger than this?
And I've got a 10, and I'm like.
They'll just be yoked. There was these kids, man, in the gym the other day, and they're just yoked. I mean, they're fucking huge. They're just yoked, and they're like in, the little skimpy tank tops. I swear, dude, they were so cut and big. And then they started working out, and I watched like their struggle point. Like, I started kind of talking to them, get to know, and I'm like, so I was working out. I was like, well, hey, y'all can jump in with me because there's like 5 of y'all if y'all want to jump into a thing. I was like, I'm not going to be near as strong as you guys. And they're like, that's okay. And they're like, we're cool though. We don't have to jump in on you. I was like, it's fine. It's really not a problem. I was like, but I won't be as strong as you guys, but I'll help you guys take weight on and off. Doesn't bother me. Well, then they start working out. And I'm like, they're not strong at all. They weren't strong. I mean, I can't say not at all. They're stronger than regular dudes, but
you
like.
Also have to remember, how old were they?
Like 22.
Okay, so here's the thing.
They look like they could bench 500 and fucking, deadlift 6. I mean, they were massive looking dudes.
Here's the thing about being young and working out that I realized. You look amazing.
Oh, yeah.
You can work out for 6 months to a year, and you look like those guys, and you've got, like you said, they can't lift anything.
But they're at size.
The body though, like goes up. Here's the other thing.
They were like 190.
Here's the other thing about bodybuilding too. You're really ripping muscle and adding muscle the entire time, and you're not worried about. Like I said, I'm working out with like a 20. Like this is like what I do. I like grab like a 45 and do like concentrate like this, and then just work my way down to where I get to.
How many times can you do a 45 like that? I don't
know.
You'd have to know. You work out. You're a workout dude. What do you mean you don't know? You know. You have to know. A 45 at a straight down?
I don't count. I just do it until my muscle says.
I mean, is it like 3 or 300?
A 45?
Yeah, like
30?
30.
25?
There's no way.
25, 45s, and then I would go down, and then when you grab the 15, it's only like 10.
There's no possible way you could do a straight down curl 30 times with a 45.
I mean, I used to.
There's no way.
I can't. I don't know. That's why I said I don't know. Like maybe.
That would be like some Larry Wheels Arnold shit. Like for
Dude, I was doing Arnold Schwarzenegger 3.5 hour workouts every day.
Yeah, those I'm talking about. These are the same weight numbers.
Yeah, I was doing that. I was doing the Arnold workouts to his specifications. After 3 years.
But you're not alleging you were strong as Arnold, are you?
No, not at all.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
No. Arnold's a freak.
That's what I'm saying.
But I could do a 45 now. Back in the game, give me a couple weeks, probably a 45. Like,
and you're because the way you're saying down and then
like when you do
not
that,
a hammer curl. Yeah,
not
just
a hammer curl. You put your leg right here. You put it on your leg.
Yeah.
I could probably do 15 to 20 of those.
Oh my God! I'd have to.
And then the fun part, like
I'm bringing a 45 over. I want to see that on the podcast.
You know how you train up to that is when you're doing it, you take your other hand and you pull it up, and then you let go and then you go down slow like this, and then when you bring it in, you can't.
None of that's news. I know how to do all that.
I'm not counting those. I'm not counting those. Is what I'm saying. I'm just saying that's how you get up. Hard.
I would be if any man could do a 30 like that for 30 times.
I'll do a 30 times.
Like that. Yeah. Full extensions.
Used to. Maybe not. I just got back into this now.
Do you have a 30 here?
No, I don't have a 30 here. I don't think I could do. I don't think I could. Okay. Tomorrow I'm gonna. Here's the other thing. I never counted either because I would just go by how my muscles.
But 45s are heavy.
45s are heavy.
For single hand curls?
I don't know if I could do 30 45s. Now you got me wondering. Now you got me thinking.
That's like if you would have just told me like the 300-pound story if you'd have told me, yeah, and then I repped it 12 times.
Well, here's the other thing I would do. How you build that up is you grab a 45, you grab a 40, you grab a 35 and a 30.
Yep.
And you just sit there and you just go and you're like, oh, and then you grab the 40 and then you do that like maybe 3 or 4 times. Then you grab the other one and that one's like 3 times. Then the next one, you reach a certain point.
Yeah, I go up and down the thing.
Now your muscles, like if you go down low enough at a certain point, you're just like, oh yeah, I've got it down. But then it starts hurting so bad. Now you're really like ripping your muscle up with that little one, and you do like 20 to 30 of those. And when you're at like, you've got like a 15 in your hand, and after you've done that roll, you've got that 15 in your hand, and you're on like number 8. It is excruciatingly painful, and you just like focus on like, this is a small weight. I'm gonna make this happen as many times as I can, and you got to get over that hump of your brain telling you.
So that would be like if you grab 90 pounds, so like a 25 on each side of a bar and 2-hand curl.
I used to do that
30 times,
but maybe not 30 times.
Even one time, but you would grab.
I was pretty strong.
I know.
That's what
I know a lot. That's a fucking crazy. That's like world-class shit.
Well, I was working out pretty hard. I have no 3 hours a day. I have no way to like put that up against anybody's number.
We're gonna put it out there on the podcast, guys. What do you think? Is Mike full of shit here?
I'm full of shit.
Or is he misremembering?
I might be
misremembering what weights are. How much those weights are.
I'm not trying to brag. I'm not a braggart.
I don't think. I know you're not. That's the last thing you are. That's why
I'm not. And I may be wrong, but I do remember I was up the list on 45s and all that.
50.
I mean, I was hanging out more on the heavy end of the.
I know when I see. Usually when I see a man, when I see men grab 45s, 50s, 55s off the thing.
I was also at a gym where you were allowed to like grunt and
throw.
Grab 100-pound, things and be like, and like throw them off onto the ground, and nobody gave a shit.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is,
I was going for it.
Yeah, I'm saying when I see a man grab 45s and 50s, I just automatically think like, oh yeah, that guy's not curling, even if they're massive.
I worked out with 45s.
I believe you worked out 45s. I know you did that. I'm not calling you a liar on the podcast.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying.
I'm fascinated and
intrigued. I really want you to know that like where I was in my life at the time. I remember when you got super obsessed.
I remember I saw you like one time in that period, and you were like super swole.
Yeah,
and you were like eating only like.
I was eating like 6 times a day, but it was like chicken and broccoli, and I was like carrying a bag with me, and it was just like, time to eat. And then,
you were fueling, and you were doing it. I was
carb loading on the weekends.
I can verify that he was doing the deal. Like, and the motherfucker looked great, but I can verify that. I saw it with my own eyes. I seen it. I was just questioning the 45 for 30, even because I don't know if Arnold even did that. I don't even know if Arnold did that.
It does sound like a lot.
Now that I think about it, huh?
Yeah. I might be totally full of bullshit.
Maybe you started you might have even been doing the 60s and 70s for a couple.
Yeah.
And then come down to the 50s for a couple.
And doing that.
Like, I can't even grab those.
I was really trying to just really rip up to the point where you would do that, and in between, like, you resting, I would stretch so hard that it would hurt my muscle to rip it even more.
I might try that.
Stretching.
I might try. I've thought. I always
now,
like.
You know who told me that? I got that from the stretching your muscles out to make them even bigger, and ripping your muscle after the thing is the guy that does Caged Muscle. God, what's his name?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Followed him for a long time.
Black dude?
No. White guy. He's from like overseas, but he has Caged Muscle. KAG.
KAGED. Yeah. I know exactly what
Chris
you're talking.
Gethin.
Yeah. Oh, go. Yeah.
Chris Gethin, dude. Chris Gethin's got some workouts that go beyond the workouts that
Arnold
had because he's got like modern day science behind it. So it's like, man, like I remember doing a leg workout of his one morning for 3 hours, and I lifted 460,000 pounds with my legs.
You did a 4-hour leg day.
Yeah. Oh, I cried in the shower.
That just sounds terrible, though.
I said you don't have a good leg day unless you're crying in the shower.
But that just sounds terrible.
My legs got huge.
Were they were always big. I remember when you were a kid, they were big though. It seems like, but not that big.
Not this big. I
have bird legs.
I stopped doing legs like that because I couldn't fit in jeans anymore, and I would have to order jeans off of like bodybuilder.com where they.
Were you wearing like the Napoleon Dynamite parachute pants?
I started wearing just like all that kind of shit because like I could go buy a normal pair of jeans and I didn't fit in them up here. I was like, I got to stop doing legs. It's like I'm the only guy ever that had to quit doing legs.
But if you like, when I stopped doing legs for a week, and then like I had to stop because of like this hip thing, so I stopped for like a week to let my hip try to get better. Then I go back in to just do a little bit of leg stuff. And man, you can't. It's like you've lost everything. Well, especially if you have bird legs.
You don't have to do a whole lot of weight with legs. You just got to do a lot of repetitions.
Yeah.
Your muscles don't know that you're doing 300-pound squats. They only know what they can do. So like when you're doing 100-pound 225 squats or two of whatever, or if you get on a machine and you're doing it, you just do it until you can't do anymore. Then you take and you pop down one or two.
That's if you're doing it. Well, yeah, I know. I know bodybuilding workouts. I know how to do bodybuilding workouts. Yeah. I know exactly how they work.
You do powerlifting.
Which is totally
like make more power.
Which is a totally different philosophy. Basically, and now I kind of try. Now they have power building, where it's like combines powerlifting and bodybuilding.
It's kind of what Arnold did, though.
That's what I want to kind of jump off into next because I really hadn't been doing. I haven't been training powerlifting for probably a year, like really training it right. So obviously straight, but I've just been making sure I go and move around. I do a lot of reps and a lot of activity and action, but I've been kind of intrigued by the power building deal.
What is power building?
It's like, well, it combines powerlifting and and bodybuilding. I'm trying to look up some workouts on here and see if I can. I might start because I need to get back on a regimen. I used to be on programs and I was doing a lot better. It combines a little bit of both though. It's a workout program that combines powerlifting style training with bodybuilding for a 1-2 combination of strength and size. It sounds simple, but it is, but there's still a few things. The ultimate. Hey, Mike, we should just do this together. I'll holler it whenever you get back. Oh, look at this badass. Is this picture? Look at that. It's totally the moon landing. That's all the proof you need right there. But yeah, Mike, maybe you and I can, maybe we can both do this power building workout together. They've got a new one here. This is about gaining muscle and strength. Which I like I said, I want to be We should do this 10-week power building program together since we brought it up on the podcast, and now I found one that's 10 weeks, and we should
Totally.
We should see what happens.
I'm knocking out.
But power basically just
if I got like a goal,
it works.
I'm gonna quit. I will quit this drinking, and I will go for a goal. But here's the problem. No, there's no problem. The thing is like I'm gonna want to do a competition if we get all cut up.
But it's a power building, so you wouldn't be bodybuilding. It's a combo of the two. You'd be building strength and toning muscle.
But you're gonna look good.
Did you compete last time? I would never. The competing. There's much.
My brother. We would always get together. My brother always.
I know
competed.
he was the dude. Yeah.
But I would always miss the mark. I cannot get down to like the percentage of body weight where you can compete. I just get big and I look like a cloud. And then when it's time to like get down to it's too miserable.
The cutting's what I'm talking about.
The cutting's too miserable for me.
You'd have to cut probably down to 8%.
Yeah.
And you're about
12.
What were you then? What were you then? Probably 22, 20. 20. And so at your size, 270 at 20% body fat. That's bad.
No, when I was 20, I was probably 220, 230.
Yeah, and so you'd had to cut 12%.
12%. We're talking like
30 pounds.
If you
30 pounds,
I wanted to do because I wanted to do they call it classic physique.
Yeah, classic physique.
So like at my height, which is 5'11", right at 6 foot, it's like between 170 and 200 pounds. I would look insane at 200 pounds. I think I've built enough muscle over the years that I can't even be 200 pounds.
I bet you could be 200. If you're 174, you're 174 muscle mass, right? Wasn't that what the thing said? Muscle mass when you took the picture on the app deal.
Yeah.
So you're 174 there. Your skeletal weighs like 30 pounds. There's 204. If you're 0% body fat,
it's 204.
Yeah. So, or close to 0% body. So I don't know. Probably
you got visceral fat.
Yeah. Yes. Which you probably have. Which is what, probably 20 something. Probably now 30%, 25%.
Probably. Ooh, that's a lot. That's bad. Visceral fat.
That didn't show up on the app picture because it can't measure that.
Can't measure that. I have something that actually measures your visceral fat. You gotta have your feet bare. Yeah, I've got and you hold the thing out and it tells you your visceral fat, and then it tells you like your age group of what your weight and all that is, and it's always so wrong. It's always like you're 64 years old.
Yeah.
I'm like,
well, I don't know. So I went to the gym and they took mine, and I was 59 years old. When I was at 41, I was 59 years old. Well, I lost the weight and got in shape, and then I went back like 2 years later and did it, and I was 26 years old. So there might be some legitimacy to it.
Oh, really?
Well,
it might not be.
It might not be. Oh, this is just crazy. It might not be. Oh, this is just crazy. It says I'm 60 years old. I'm not fucking 60. I'm 40.
Right.
But then I lost all this weight and got in shape. This is when better shape than I am now. I'm in pretty good shape now, but I got in great shape. And I was like 26. So I was like, I lost like almost 40 years. So It's got to be something. And it didn't know that I was getting back on it 2 years later or whatever.
I'm to the part. I think I'm gonna get way back into it. I think I'm gonna get back into it. Just going every day. Mm-hmm. I go every day. I don't skip.
Where do you don't go to Anytime though, do you? You don't have an Anytime membership?
I have a all hours membership. And I have a Planet Fitness membership for when I travel around, so I can go to the gym at Planet.
So now that you're back going this is the first week you went 5 days. Yeah. You're fixing to be on it.
I'm fixing to get on it, and once I get on it, I quit the drinking. Like what my old thing was is like I would work out every day, and then I would reward myself with 2 beers on a Saturday, and that's what I did.
Yeah,
and it just was.
You could probably reward yourself with 6 on a Saturday.
6,
because you're not going to be
Michelob.
Well, you're not going to be like carrying around Tupperware containers of broccoli again, are you?
No, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm just eating plant-based food. But here's the other thing. Man, working out and doing some pretty hard workouts every day. I want meat
carbs.
I want meat and carbs. Like I'm craving like chicken, and obviously old haunts. You know, like I'm just like I like work out, and then I'm like when I go home, I want to eat a chicken breast with broccoli and put some, like some spices on it the broccoli, and eat that chicken breast. And eating plant-based food, it doesn't give me that thing I want. Yeah, it doesn't give me that thing I want.
I guess you have to eat a block of tofu.
I've actually had some tofu at a Thai place. It was actually really awesome.
Well, you're eating a good bit of tofu, right? I mean, tofu's pretty good.
I guess
you can stir fry.
Pretty good.
Stir fry it with stuff, but it's not a chicken breast.
It's not chicken breast.
I never
and it's
really.
definitely
I've never
not a steak.
I've never craved a grilled chicken breast. Like just had to have it.
Well,
and I get sick eating them.
Let me make you a chicken breast.
And I'll be craving it.
Let me make you one. And if you get into the groove of eating 2 chicken breasts a day, and then, like when I was eating like that, I grill all this chicken breast in the morning, and it was so succulent and good.
Yeah,
like I know how to cook it so good.
Yeah.
I know how to cook it trashy too, where everybody loves it. Where I just like cut these big lines in it, and then I just dump butter in there and like put it on the grill, and the butter, it just gets into the insides of it.
Good, yeah.
Which is not what you want when you're bodybuilding. You want to eat it not like that, but you can have like barbecue sauce and hot sauce, like any of that.
You can, but if you'd have been willing to cut to the 8% body fat, you'd had to give the barbecue sauce. Those motherfuckers that really compete, dude, they won't even put Tabasco on it. They're like
backstage, and they're just like this. They're just doing this the whole time. And it's like, oh, it's my turn. Okay. And it's just like they're miserable. I couldn't make myself that miserable.
No, it's not worth it.
And it's not healthy.
It's not healthy at all.
It's not healthy to
do
that.
And you actually, I think to compete, you have to be on steroids, huh?
No.
To really compete.
To compete, the ones you see on TV.
Yeah, you do.
Like
yeah, you do.
Ridiculously, retardedly big.
Yes.
Those guys are that is allowed.
Yeah.
But on the ones that like my brother did, you got tested that morning. Like,
okay.
They tested you for everything. It was like natural bodybuilding. But the ones
so they didn't look near as good.
But the ones you see on TV is like, do whatever you want, fellas. How big can you get?
Well, that's what I want to see if I'm going to a show.
Well, I'm not going to do that to my body.
Well, I know, but I mean, but people going to a show. That's what you want.
That's what you want to see.
Yeah, you want to see the freaks.
Those are the big guys.
The freaks.
The freaks. You want to see the big top tier.
I want to see Ronnie Coleman at 293 pounds and 3%.
Is so fucked up from all that.
3% body fat.
So big. His joints, everything is so fucked.
But But he didn't. He says it's not from the training or anything to do with bodybuilding. Really? It's just from back surgeries. He's like everybody wants to always pile on, be like, see what bodybuilding did to him. He's like, this is back surgery. I'm crippled because of back surgery. It's nothing to do with squatting 800 solid ass pounds.
No. You don't think his back got fucked up from doing all that?
No, he had like disc fused together, just like regular shit that happens. He had to have back surgery. They had trouble with the back surgery. Had to have another back surgery.
So that shit happens to people that don't do that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, all the time. It happens to people that are lazy all the time. So a lot of like people who want to like speak out against bodybuilding or whatever, training too hard, like point to Ron Coleman as like the example. They act like the training crippled him.
Well, if you're the best, you're gonna get fingers pointed at you no matter what happens.
Oh yeah,
he could trip in the street and they'd be like, "You shouldn't have made your legs so big. You can't even walk, bro."
It's because he took tests. That's why he can't walk now. Like,
but he's the greatest. I mean, Ronnie Coleman he's the biggest and the greatest.
He's the greatest.
He's the greatest.
You're supposed to say Arnold because that's just
but that Arnold's old school. This is the new.
And that was even Ronnie Coleman's 25 years ago, but he was such a mass monster.
Even Arnold had the fix in though on like Lou Ferrigno and that kind of stuff. He was too big for the sport, and they were like, Arnold, the blah blah blah, and like Lou Ferrigno probably should have won a couple of those.
Yeah, well, especially the one he showed up to in 1981, where he just showed. You know about that? So yeah, Arnold just shows up to like Mr. Universe. He was like, they already had all the competitors and they were there, and he shows up like the day of, like, and he hadn't even really been training, and he's kind of a little bit out of shape for Arnold at the time, and he was like, I'm competing, and he competes, and everybody's like, he was like. So if you go back and look at the footage, look at the pictures from that 81 Mr. Universe, Arnold's about the 8th or 9th best looking dude.
Yeah.
And he won it. Because he was Arnold. He won it like 5 times. And they're like, this son of a bitch just showed up, like not in shape, not training, just announces, oh yeah, I'm going to compete tomorrow.
That's what I was talking about. Like, he was such a legend.
They had to give it to him.
They gave it to him because they loved him so much.
Yeah.
And if you watch like all the
and he's bad. Arnold's the GOAT, right? I mean, Arnold's the OG, I should say. Ron's the GOAT. Arnold's the OG.
Arnold and all his crew of those dudes figured out how to get yourself really big, and they didn't take steroids. They took some weird shit for a little bit.
Wait! You're not trying to say that Arnold didn't take steroids?
In the beginning, he didn't.
Okay, in the very beginning.
But he did.
Yes.
And
yes.
This is the official story. Is Arnold says that somebody gave him some stuff that they had, and they did it, and then when they found out like what it was, they stopped taking it. But as you know, you could take like steroids and get you over a lump and then continue building muscle on it.
Sure.
And it makes you bigger.
Sure.
And then that doesn't go away.
Yeah, of course.
So, like, I mean, this dude was massive. Arnold was massive.
Yeah, but I don't think Arnold ever stopped taking steroids. Just like I don't think Ronnie Coleman ever did.
I don't think so either. Well, man, I see. He's such a staple in my mind. I'm defending that he didn't, but I'm sure he did.
I've had this argument with so many bros at the gym.
I don't like this politics anymore.
so many bros at the gym, and they're like anti-steroids, and then they'll start talking about like Ronnie Coleman or Arnold, and I'm like, well, you don't think Arnold didn't do steroids? They're like, no, he didn't, and they'll try. I'm like, guy, you're like cannot be this delusional.
His shoulder's bigger than your torso. Shut the fuck up.
He had a chest that you could set a Pepsi can on
top of it.
Yeah, like, but you know, Ronnie, I'm like they do steroids. It's okay. I don't have. I'm not a moralist like that. I don't give a shit. Like,
I don't care what you did to get big.
If they're like, yeah, well, that guy, he wouldn't bench 500 pounds if he's on steroids. I don't care. I don't care. It's not my. Whatever he did, he did.
Oh yeah, and mostly the people that say that stuff don't even lift.
Yeah, they don't. They never lift. They never lift.
They never lifted
because they say dumb shit like this. I could lift that too if I had steroids. No, you couldn't.
No, you couldn't.
Or I'd look like that too if I just. No, you wouldn't.
I've never done steroids in my entire life, and I never will because I'm too weirded out. I don't even do drugs because I'm too weirded out about like what it will do to me later or what it'll do to me now too.
Yeah, and that's great.
I don't like that.
That's a great choice for you to make. It's like, but for them, it's a choice for them to make too.
Well, no,
right?
these guys are like super competitive. So like any kind of real competitive edge you can have. It's almost like baseball. It's like, hey, let's just let baseball players do steroids. Let's move the fences back. Yeah. About another 50 feet.
See how badass humans can be.
Let's see how badass we can be with like technology, steroids, and shit. Let's see how fucking can they grow tusks?
That's just
can
like
they grow tusks and hit.
You know, that's
600.
Well, this argument all
feet.
You know, the argument all week of Aaron Judge. It's been the argument all week, right? Like it's been you know who Aaron Judge is, the baseball player.
No.
Okay. he just tied Roger Maris for the. So.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He hit his 61st home run, and these moralists or whatever the fuck these baseball purists, they're like, well, he got the record, and I'm like, he's like 7th. They're like, well, he's got the record without steroids. I'm like, shut the fuck. The record's the record. There's like the 73 is the most home runs hit in a season. Yeah, but Barry Bonds took steroids. I don't know that Aaron Judge isn't taking steroids. I don't know, but
yeah, when's that going to come out?
Because
you know what I mean?
He hit 61, which is a great accomplishment. But don't try to tell everybody it's the record. And
it's clearly not.
It's clearly, and when you can just go look it up and be like, wait a minute, I thought that's not the record. Well, it's the natural record, dude. It makes him number 7th. Like,
how
okay,
do you know it's the natural record? You don't know. This shit comes out later.
I know, and Aaron Judge is like 6'7", 2.
Is he pissing in a thing every other day?
No. It comes out later.
They want the game to be exciting.
If you hit 73 home runs, you know who beats you? The guy who hit 74, not 61. It's just
he went the distance.
And I'm not. Look, Aaron Judge is a badass baseball player. 61 home runs in a season in major leagues
awesome.
is unbelievably. But it's not the record. It's not the record. People do the same stuff though with. Talking
you want the record, you better jab that vein.
Yeah, I could do this. They do the same thing with power lifters who use equipment. They're like, I could bench press 900 pounds if I wore a bitch shirt. And you're like, a bitch shirt? You bench 100 pounds now, but you could bench 900 with the. They just don't understand. Like,
they don't understand.
Yes, he's wearing a bench shirt. He also had to work for like 10 years, like and eat and train and do all. And he had to get to where he could bench press like 750. You know, without the shirt, and then he could put the shirt on and get perfect form and get in a competition and do 900. But no, you could not do 900 if you had a shirt too.
That's right.
It's ridiculous.
Well, it's just human nature where people are jealous about something that somebody worked hard for, and then they want to come around and say like, well, because the shirt is, it takes 3 people to put the shirt on it because it does this automatically.
Yeah,
God, come on.
Yeah, those are people that whenever people start saying stuff like this, I'm like, this is somebody that doesn't go to the gym.
They don't call it a shirt. What is it called?
It's a bench shirt.
It's a bench shirt.
Yeah, it's a bench shirt. But I'm like, these are people that don't go to the gym. Or when people say stuff like, I could look like Ronnie Coleman if I did steroids, I'm like, these are people who've never fucking been around any of this shit ever. Like, no, you can't.
You like the funny thing about like the Ronnie Colemans and the Jose Cansecos and the Mark McGuires is they have 100% more talent than anyone ever that did it.
Right. They're already freakily genetic,
And
right?
so they know that. So to add to that, they do steroids that makes them unbelievably above everyone else.
Yeah.
But before the steroids, they were already incredible.
Yeah, that's what like Ronnie Coleman.
If you do steroids and you're mediocre, you just do a little better than what you do.
Just do a little better. That's how you would do.
It's like the guy with, I can bench 900. No, you can't.
The bench shirt would get you to 250.
You do 250,
Yeah.
and then you could brag about it. And guess what? You'd stop talking shit about the bench shirts and shut the fuck up.
And you would, if you could do 200 now you could probably do 240 with the shirt. You wouldn't do 900.
And then you're like, this bench shirt is great.
But you know what would actually happen? The bench shirt would hurt you so bad, you wouldn't know how to use it. You wouldn't understand there's only one groove a bench shirt can go in, and you would actually not even be able to do your regular bench press with the shirt, and you would take it off and be like, these things are stupid because they're hard to deal with.
Well, you don't use a bench shirt all the time.
No,
Because that would ruin your regular.
You'd be ripped up. It cuts you though.
Yeah.
You ever put one on?
I've never done one. I never had one.
Man, you will be cut from here to here, sliced. You'll be sliced up in here. It is so tight.
Why?
Because it's made out of Kevlar.
Oh.
And it's like, and you have to force that thing on. So when the weight, you think about you're putting like 300-400 pounds, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's pushing that much weight against Kevlar into your skin.
Slicing you up.
In fact, the first time I put a bench shirt on, I could do less than I could do in just a t-shirt.
Oh, really?
Because they're that hard to operate. If you get out of your groove, you've got one spot you can go, right? One place. Imagine if you're benching and there's only one place you can go where it will move. If you go up like this, it's going to hit you in the face.
Oof.
If you go down like this, it's going to hit you in the stomach. You have to be strong just to operate.
I've never even used one.
You should.
I'm a loner when it comes to being at the gym, and like when I went so hard, I didn't know where I was. You know what I mean? Like I'm such a loner doing it because it's like what I do by myself to get my head right, and that's like what I've always done. I've never, like me and you worked out a few times, and which is funny. We just was like working out all the time, but I really do like to just put my headphones on.
We had a great session though. We should do that again sometimes. You could work out by yourself a lot of times and work on me like once a month or something. Just
go hard, but
Yeah.
I'm not, not at your gym.
Yeah, we'll have to.
You come to my gym.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out.
y'all
have guest passes?
I don't like these gyms around here. I end up just going to like Planet Fitness every day.
You don't like them because there's people in them, right?
That's one thing, and because I worked at my old gym that was like a dungeon, there was no one there at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Here, there's people 5 a.m. at the gym. There's like 20 people. I'm like, golly, these people are really into it. But like, I'm just used to like being by myself and doing it.
Yeah.
And the other thing is I like a sweaty, gross smelling, old school.
Sure, those are the best for training.
Where there's dudes walking around
Ripped
with
up
fanny packs, and they may have steroids in there.
Ripped up benches, and that'll cut you.
Ripped up benches and like all the shit.
Rusty dumballs and shit. Like let's fucking get it all.
And it smells like balls and ass. That and it's not a sexual thing, but
Thank
it's
God.
it's just that's a gym to me. It's not these super sterilized. We've got all of these things in each corner that blow.
Yeah, I want to feel like I might need a tetanus shot when I leave for the best gyms, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go in the shower and there's mushrooms growing out of the.
You want a powerlifting bodybuilding gym?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was one in.
Why don't you join the one like
that?
that? Why don't you join the one here that's like that?
There is. Which one is that?
Ronnie Coleman's gym.
I don't know about that gym. What are
You
talking
know,
about?
Ronnie Coleman's got the gym he works out in Arlington. What's it called?
I don't know. Anyway, so like
I'm gonna solve this mystery for you because it's here.
I want to be in that gym because that's the gym I like.
So you like it? So this gym is like.
I want the gym that like girls won't come to because they're worried.
Okay, the gym that he works out is Metroflex. It's called Metroflex. It's just the weights don't match. Shit's on the floor.
That's it.
It's right here in Ruston.
Where?
Right off the interstate.
Are you talking about off of like where? Are you talking about south of the interstate?
Yeah, on the way to the liquor store.
Yeah, I know where that is.
Yeah, so come down the service road.
Yeah.
You'll see Metroflex Gym back in there. And it's just a metals playing at like volume 10 with fucks.
That's it.
Yeah, the death metals going, like shit everywhere, squat racks, benches.
It's completely miserable.
All iron plates that don't match.
Yes.
Mismatched dumbbells, rusted shit. Yes.
That's the one gym I like.
Oh, it's a killer
I
gym.
like those
Great
gyms.
gym.
I don't like these gyms. I don't like these gyms where people are in there and they're basically the middle of the gym is a whole island to do like, your own style of CrossFit in. I don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't want that gym.
No, I love my Anytime just because I love the owners and stuff. Anytime,
Well, Anytime's a nice gym.
Anytime's got squat racks and benches.
You brought me in there. They got the real shit.
Yep, they got all the shit you can lift.
And it's really nice. I actually probably should have joined that gym instead of joining.
You should, and then when it comes up, you should join, and then you and I can lift sometimes together. You can lift when you want to lift alone. I'll respect that. When you want to lift with someone, you come on.
Well, yeah, right. Maybe I will. Maybe I will cancel that one over there and come there. But like the one thing that bothered me and like the other gym that I'm at, I was like on the bench and they got free weights and I'm doing the bench and they have like these LED long lights and I'm benching and I'm looking up and it's just like blinding me right in my eye.
I hate that.
And like I told her about it. I told the people about it and I was like, hey, I can't bench here. Your LED light thing is like right on the thing. And and then like after I complained about it for like a month, they moved it. But
they did move it?
So tired of being at that gym. The other thing is I don't like about that gym is I will switch back and forth to do free weights and then I do machines. Their machines at this gym also use your body weight along with plates, and I hate that. I can't stand getting in a machine that lifts me up too in the machine. When I'm like just trying to do like an overhead press or something, and I'm also going up with it. I don't like that.
Why don't you just overhead press?
That sucks.
Why don't you just overhead press with free weights?
Well, I do, but I like to switch it up. Do it like with a Smith machine every now and then.
Yeah.
You just got to change. I just change everything.
You just change it up to trick your muscles.
Yeah.
You got to do. You do have to do that. That's the thing.
Trick your muscles. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's what he said. He says, "Shock the muscle."
Yeah.
Shock the muscle.
Yeah. Then you trick it. So you do this, and then you the next day you do something.
So welcome back to the
different
Muscle
variation.
and Fitness.
Yeah, Muscle and Piston podcast. Well, we've been the Moon podcast for 3 weeks.
I love talking about working out though. Like I could talk about it forever.
Music, working out, the moon, like those are just kind of topics that we talk about if we're not on the podcast, right?
Yeah,
so like,
I really love, and I can't express this enough to people, how straight my head got working out.
Oh yes.
How
the world becomes clear.
How the world got so clear and my day was so much easier after I get up super early, work out, go to my job, and then anything I do in my job is not as hard as what I did that morning, and it's a breeze.
Yeah, that's right.
And it makes your head feel so good.
And you just, it gives you clarity of thought, and you feel good because you're strong and lean. And you get that pump. It is like coming.
It does take you a minute to get there. It's not the first day. The first day sucks dick. Yeah, it really does. The second day really sucks.
And then you'll quit. Then people quit. Usually after the second day, people take like a week off, and they come back for one day. And then
you get really sore, and then you're like, oh man, I'm so sore, I can't go back. And then you go back. Now, when you get used to it and you get back into it, when you're sore the second day, you're just like, fuck it, I'm going back sore.
Yeah.
And you just go back sore, and guess what? You don't like
it gets better. It's like drinking on a hangover. Like like it gets better. Like you think you shouldn't squat because your legs hurt, but actually if you go squat, you'll feel better.
Or jump on the elliptical and just hammer out the elliptical while your legs hurt, and then after like 3 minutes of agony, they feel better.
Yeah. You do a good bit of cardio?
Yeah, I do cardio.
I do too.
I love doing cardio in VR on my Oculus too.
Yeah, I did 11 miles today. A bike
like
11 miles is a long way from me. I usually bike about
on a real bike.
No, on a stationary. But I usually just jump on and get 2 or 3 miles, like 10, 12 minutes to get some blood flowing.
VR and do the stationary with the VR.
I'll do it when we get done here.
And then you can like cruise through any part of America, any part of the world that has the Google Maps, and you're just like going along, and you're like, look, I'm in.
Can you hook that up when we get up from here? I want to play on it.
Oh, I think I think.
Or can you not?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Hey, what's up with the? Not to change the subject, but to change the subject.
I think I canceled that one.
Canceled what?
The VZ Fit for that. I think I might have canceled.
No, I was going to ask you about your moon hole. I mean, your hole to the center of the earth you were telling me about before the podcast.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, like that's interesting.
Let's hit this one at the end here. So, Hold on. I'm going to look it up. Oh, it's called the Kola Super Deep Borehole.
Borehole.
So, like, it's a hole that Russia dug. There were two things going on.
Space war.
Space war, borehole.
Borehole war. Fight to get to the core.
Fight up and fight down. I mean, it was to get to the core. They did that. We stopped in like the 60s.
66 or something you said?
Was it? In 1958, we started Project Mohole.
Mohole, okay.
Like, we got to get mo holes.
Okay.
You know, so
that is probably how it went down.
Got to get mo holes.
So Project Mohole.
To Project Mohole. And then Russia kept going until the 90s. Now, Russia got to 40,230 feet deep.
Which is only 7 miles. 7.6 miles.
7.62 miles, yes. 9
That's
inches
nothing.
wide. 9 inches wide hole. And they had to stop digging it because it got to 365 degrees Fahrenheit when they got that deep.
So were there tools
So it was
melting
like
or something?
It was melting the things. It was hydrogen boiling in mud.
So let's put it in perspective. So they got 7.62 miles, and it is, 1,800 miles about to the core of the Earth? Something like that?
Something like that.
So 1,800 miles.
Okay, I got it right here where it says how far they got down in
Does anyone-
percentages. The hole is only 0.19% of all the way down to the core.
Now, do you know you may or may not know the
That's
answer.
not even 1%.
It's not even a quarter of a
It's not
percent
even 20.20%
of 1%. Is that the largest hole dug in the Earth, or is there a bigger one somewhere?
This is it.
Russia, and then Russia did it.
This is in Russia.
And they didn't make any big to do about that because who gives a shit?
No, they found what was it? They found some kind of.
So you're telling me
They found fossils. They found 2 billion year old fossils of plankton 4 miles deep.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And plankton's what whales eat.
4 miles.
They eat lots of plankton, don't they?
Plankton.
But what
are
is it
by
exactly?
whales. It's a little microscopic. Plankton
Organism?
Are like microscopic organisms.
Okay.
It's like, you ever seen SpongeBob SquarePants?
Of course.
Plankton. But yeah, whales eat that. They have baleen in their mouths, and they like it. Like, I'm not a whatever, but
Marine biologist.
But what I know is they eat plankton. They eat a lot of it.
Yeah.
A lot of it in the ocean.
And they found that, right?
2 billion years old.
So
Plankton. 4 miles deep.
wait, but the Earth. Wait a minute. But I thought the Earth. How many billion years old is it? Oh, the Earth is 3.5 billion years, right?
About 4 billion years old.
Okay, so you could find 2 billion. Okay, because I was like, wait a minute, that makes it older than the Earth.
That's pretty deep. That's pretty deep to have an ocean that deep. Because like you get that deep, it gets really hot.
How deep's the ocean at its deepest point? Do we even know as a species?
The Marianas Trench, is that the deepest, or is the deepest the part of the ocean that's above Puerto Rico? So, hey Siri, what's the deepest part of the ocean?
Here's what I found from Wikipedia. The deepest point in the ocean is the Mariana Trench, located in the Pacific Ocean near the Northern Mariana Islands.
She didn't tell me how deep it was.
The average depth of the ocean is 12,100 feet. That's the average. So, but what is the deepest?
The Marianas Trench is
Three people ever have reached the bottom of the ocean,
it's crazy.
and they did it in submarines, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So I guess they didn't want to take. It's the Mariana Trench. How deep is the Mariana Trench? That's the question to ask. How deep is the Mariana Trench?
Hey Siri, how deep is the Mariana Trench? 6.83 miles deep. That's it.
So-
almost 7 miles deep.
So they dug that hole deeper than the Mariana Trench. So it was deeper than the deepest part of the ocean.
Deeper than the deepest part of the ocean, and then they had to
One
stop.
by 1.3 miles deeper, and still, guys, think about this. So still, it was 1,793 miles from the core. We're never getting to the core, right? Like, no way. But what if you just kept going
It's impossible.
with the technology now?
Dude,
Well,
it just melts. Whatever you stick at a certain point, it's just gonna melt it right into it. It's so hot.
We don't have any
You just keep shoving stuff down in there, and it just melts it.
we don't have temperature resistant.
Think how hot it is down in the core.
There's got to be metal that can go up to like thousands of degrees without melting, right?
I guess. I don't know. I'm not a metallurgist. whatever that is. I'm not.
Well, wasn't that the argument on the Twin Towers on 9/11 that steel only melts at like 3,500 degrees or something? So it could have been possible for the steel to melt and the building to fall.
True, but
so
I don't know. We may have to dig deeper. This may be a
this
deep
may
dive.
be maybe we have to deep dive. We'll come back on the next
next one in the
episode.
beginning and talk about it.
So because I'm intrigued with this. I'm sure no one else is. Maybe 3 other people, but
it's super interesting to be that we can't even dig
10 miles.
We can't even dig 10 miles into the core. Remember we said, "Oh, you're going to dig a hole. You dig all the way to China." It's impossible. It's impossible to dig 10 miles.
Yeah. Oh, so the melting point of steel is 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit. So at 7.62 miles, it was 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I got a feeling you could go a few hundred more miles.
But you're also talking about when they dig things, these shafts that get pushed down into this hole. It's like it would be like lining it up to like the moon or something. Like how far away? Like, you know what I mean? It would be like so many of those at a certain point. Like. It's so many.
I can't
shafts.
get my head. I mean, I can't obviously engineer a way to do it. I just feel like somebody way smarter than me could have by now.
But why? What would? Oh, why?
What if there's a civilization there, dude?
Well, no. Why would be? I saw this thing where it said if you could bore to the core of the Earth, you could run the entire planet forever with that kind of
that energy
with the
source.
energy that's coming from the core of the Earth forever, free energy. The way you could do it.
Well, there's the reason to do it right there.
Yeah.
Elon needs to get on that.
He does. He has the boring company, but that's just
That
to
sounds
move
boring.
traffic around.
Yeah.
It's to move traffic around under LA in tubes.
Is that what it's going to do?
Well, that's what he's trying to do. That's what he's been doing forever. I think it's just a pet project of his. It's never going to happen.
You don't think he'll make it happen?
He hasn't yet. He's just been doing it for a couple of years and years now. It's called the Boring Project. If he could bore down to the
Yeah, I did know about that. I didn't know about that. Yeah, I did. I
Oh, you're supposed to like pull onto a thing and it goes down and then you just go through a tube, and the tubes are like, they were like, well, what about her? What are they called? If you're underground in California and an earthquake happens,
Yeah.
an earthquake. These tubes are like they'll move with the earthquake, so it'll be like they can kind of move a little bit around the track. But yeah, he's been doing that forever.
But how many?
But
how many cars? Like there's millions of cars in LA, right?
Well, you just like pull into something. It takes you underground. It puts you in a tube and it pops you up over in Van Nuys or something.
Yeah, but wouldn't everybody be in line to do that?
I mean, sure you'd have to pay for it. I'm sure that it's money driven.
Oh,
I'm
cool.
sure just like you pay to be in the the lane in Atlanta.
Oh, so it may be like you pay $100 just to save traffic that
pay
day.
$100 a month or something to jump in the boring lane.
But I bet you millions of people. I don't know. I'd be interested in the logistics of that. Like, how does it work?
You have to look that up. It's been a thing he's been doing for a long time.
I'm saying, how would you think about it? Because you're trying to avoid the lines, but there's going to be lines to the tubes.
Do you think he does too much? Do you think he's got that? And he's got SpaceX.
He's
got
got
the car
Tess.
company. And
Now he's got
it's
the
like-
house company,
He's got the house company. Is it too much?
probably. But I think he likes
Could he focus on something and get something right? He's got the cars right.
pretty well right, but they're having some battery issues,
having
right?
some bad
And what are they
issues
going to do
right
about
now.
$30,000 batteries? That's got to be
Yeah.
solved.
Well, there are batteries out there that have been shelved that are probably better than that. You
That
know what I mean?
are they cheaper though?
There's people that have made batteries that last for a long time, and they like car companies buy them up and stick them in a warehouse somewhere, and they give like whoever made the battery like $100 million. Here's $100 million for your battery. Now we're gonna take it and throw it away, and they throw it in the ground
Because
they don't.
I know why.
You know why?
I was about to say, yeah, that's what I was.
That happens more than not. There are a lot of people that there are a lot of battery technology that
probably a
just
lot of
gets
technology in general that
bought
gets.
by oil companies and other people that have interest that would hurt them, and they go, we could just buy this from this guy and the shelf it forever until the oil runs out.
Yeah.
Then we'll make the money after because we have the technology.
Because we've bought this thing off of him.
Happens all. I remember probably 10 years ago. Do you remember Saturn had the EV1 or whatever it was called? Saturn had an electric car. There's a thing on Netflix. I don't know if not on Netflix. It may be on Netflix now. But it's definitely on YouTube. It's called "Who Killed the Electric Car?" Saturn had the baddest electric cars in the early 90s, and they all got taken away from everybody. They got to try them out, and they crushed them up and buried them in the desert.
What were they called? I remember they had they opened weird on the side.
Yeah,
they had a side.
But it was made by Saturn. There's like a whole thing about it. It's awesome.
Documentary?
Yeah, there's a whole documentary.
Oh, I'm watching.
It's called "Who Killed the Electric Car."
Is it on YouTube? I'm watching that tonight.
You can watch it on YouTube. I haven't looked it up in years. It's been.
I think I'd like to touch on that subject when I know a little more about it. I remember the cars from the 90s.
This is going to be a whole subject we can go for an hour on, because there's all of these different people that have all these different batteries that are amazing, and they just get bought up and shelved because we got to sell this oil.
And you got to sell more batteries?
No, we got to sell this oil first.
Oh, yeah.
There's plenty of oil for now for the next however long. Then we'll get the battery stuff. This is too early. These moguls that own oil stuff. Let's say me and you came up with a battery that would last 25 years in a car, and then we got with the car manufacturers, hey, Ford, you all can make a car that will last 25 years. They don't want that. They want a car that lasts. They want a car that lasts 72 months and then starts having problems, because that's how long it takes to get a loan for a car, 72 months, and then when you're done with that, it lasts about 300,000 miles now, which is actually pretty damn good.
Pretty damn good, yeah.
But they want you to buy another car. They don't want something that lasts 25 years.
Yeah.
There would be no economy with that.
Correct.
So they go,
for them, there should be an economy.
For them.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's why they don't make TVs. They make TV. They used to make TVs that lasted forever. Now it's like a piece of furniture in your house. They don't do that anymore. They make a TV that lasts about 6 years.
Yeah.
If you buy a good one.
So you got to
because
like Apple does that too.
The economy has to be going. We put a new Apple iPhone out every year, even though you don't need one.
My battery dies now.
People buy them all the time. But me and you come up with a battery that'll last that long in a car, and it's a great battery and battery technology. Also, you could use it for other applications and things like that. Ford goes, this is bad for our company. Let's give these guys will you guys take $30 million each? And we'll just own this battery, and you have nothing to do with it. And me and you would go, $30 million each? Sure.
Yeah, of course.
Take it. We don't, whatever. We're not we're not worried about the environment or whatever. We'll just take the money. We only get one life.
Yeah.
And then they just shelf it.
Well, then that couldn't happen every time a battery's invented, right?
Yeah, it does happen every time that.
But people would just keep inventing them and saying, "I'll go public with this thing if you don't buy it," and then they'd have to buy it. You could just strong.
It's called a non-disclosure
agreement, NDA.
NDA. You sign an NDA, and you get $30 million.
Yeah, I know, but then the next guy's making another one. You got to pay him $30 million. The next guy's making another. You got to pay him $30 million. The next guy makes another.
It's worth it.
But I'm saying, at some point, wouldn't that end?
It's totally worth it.
I get that, but at some point, the money would end, right? Like
no. Not with these oil companies. These companies, they got all the money. That's what you don't get. They got all the money.
Well, I know.
All the money.
But how many people could keep inventing batteries? Well, that guy can't do it again, because once you buy it one time, you tell him I own
You have to buy it from the guy that has the means to make something happen.
I own
Me and you come up with a battery like, hey, we got this great battery idea.
Well, now on the internet, you can get that out.
No.
What?
I don't think so.
Why?
Because I just don't think that. I think
if you invented something that no one in the world had invented, and you went on Facebook tonight and you showed by a week from now it would have but a week from now it'd have 5 million views. The word would be out.
You'd be dead. Doesn't matter. You'd die in a plane crash.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Well, that's true.
People that are known by have 20 million followers died. Everybody's like, they shouldn't have got on that plane.
Yeah.
Darn. Oh, he had what did he do? Well, he had the technology to do this, and it's like, oh man, that guy's too important to get on a plane.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's all rigged up.
Well, we know that. Yeah, we could. That's a whole episode.
It's all rigged up. Me and you came up with a battery tomorrow that lasted forever. We'd be dead. We'd be dead.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking like, damn. Well, somebody would just keep inventing the batteries.
Well, there's only so many battery ways you could do that you can copyright, right?
Yeah, I guess it's true too.
You can only.
I don't know.
It's like, hey, we come up with this battery, but hey, guys, we need to be able to mine X amount of pounds of batteries out of Africa. This special whatever that goes in our battery. It's like, we don't have the means to do that. They would tell us to fuck off. The guy that has the means to do it, they would buy him out.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the means, then they're like, they can't do
And
that.
if we try to use social media, they would kill us.
They would kill us.
Yeah.
These social media, you're a quack.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, we got a battery that plugs into a USB thing and you can charge it. It's like, you're all quacks. They blow up in your pocket. Remember when the whole thing, and they were blowing up in people's pockets, by the way. The
vape pens?
The vapes and all that kind of stuff, and then like Philip Morris and all those guys that grow tobacco like put out all these campaigns about, oh, those vapes blow up in your face and in your pocket and they melt your skin.
The dangers of vaping
and all that kind of stuff. And even though it's probably not really great for you, they still came after him and like did all that too. So you've always got somebody that's come after you and be like, push it up a notch, even if you do have problems. Like some vapes did overheat and burn up in people's pockets, but then they came out and they were like, vapes blow up in your face.
Well, they got that whole company. They got that whole company, Juul. You know, Juul doesn't even exist as a company.
Oh, it doesn't.
All the other vapes can exist, but somehow they managed to get Juul, one company, Juul, Juul, got it exiled from the world. They do not exist as a company. They banned the sale of Juul, only Juul, at all stores in America.
That's Philip Morris probably at work.
That's what 100%.
Because they were the first ones.
Yeah.
And they were the biggest
So
threat.
you can walk in right now to any gas
They
station.
had the means.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? They had the means. I remember you could walk into any truck stop and it was Juul everything.
Correct. Well, now you can walk in and there's still vapes everywhere, right?
But it's just a bunch of...
But pay attention. There's no Juul. Juul does not.
doesn't exist.
Juul stopped existing about 8 months ago.
Really?
Got out. It got banned because people went in. Some people went in and were buying 2,000 Juuls from the store. There was a big news story about it, which I know you wouldn't catch. But it's pretty wild that when you said that, you start connecting dots. Go, I went, damn, they did that to Juul. Because you could still sell vapes. They still sell cotton candy vapes.
It's just Juul had the means of putting a dent in their pocket, so they got rid of them.
They're done.
And old money gets rid
And then
of
they
new
convinced
money.
all the senators and congressmen to pass a law to make it illegal to sell Juuls. It's like marijuana when they did that to marijuana in the 40s
They pushed it. They had lobbyists that pushed it and sold it because they had...
The paper industry was fighting the hemp industry. That's the whole reason marijuana is illegal.
That's the whole reason.
The paper industry.
That guy didn't want to change his paper machines over to hemp machines. He
Correct.
wanted to keep using timber.
Yep.
That was it. All right. We'll see you next time. We're going to dig into this whole boring thing and all that other stuff with Elon.
And the battery situation.
The battery situation. That's a big one.
We'll catch y'all next time.
Peace.